Hey, here's a question for you from the movie A Christmas Story. Is the old man an artist of swearing? Swearing, profanity, obscenity, nasty language. Is he an artiste, an artist? The answer is yes, and let me tell you a little bit why. But first, watch this.
Blurb, rattle, rat, hammer, flirt, you blocker, rattle, fish, jerk up, rat.
In the heat of battle, my father wove a tapestry of obscenity that, as far as we know, is still hanging in space over Lake Michigan.
Okay, if you're not convinced yet, I've got one more little clip for you. Watch this. Now you get it. Both of these scenes probably you remember pretty well. They're wild, aren't they? What's going on here? The old man is an artist of a sort. He knows how to use nasty language, foul language, obscene language, profane language, and really cast it out. I mean, he competes in his own way, with his own medium, with the folks across the lake at the Art Institute of Chicago, where the high-end artists are doing their work and where the curators know the really good stuff from the not-so-good stuff. The old man will one day have his words not just hanging over Lake Michigan, but maybe even settling down to the basement floor, if not the top floor of the Art Institute. That's the kind of artiste that he is. Now, this all might strike you as kind of odd in the movie, but let me tell you, in my life growing up in Chicago, this was part of life. You not only learned some of this questionable language, potentially offensive language, but beyond that, you tried to do the best you could with it to impress other people, especially guys. So there was this competitiveness, man to man, over all kinds of things. But even language. Who could tell a better string of nasty language than the other guy? Oh, it was true. It was there. I began learning this when I was a kid. But let me tell you one little story. I worked for a while when I was young at a printing plant in Chicago. We did rotogravure printing, a lot of labels of cans of stuff, and we did labels for bottles of booze and the like. It was wild. I was suddenly in this situation with all of these people that were really gifted operators of these presses. They would get these presses. They were French presses, if I remember right, and they were maybe 40, 45 feet long. And they had big, big rolls of paper or some type of foil on the end of them that would feed in. And they would get these presses going really fast. And the whole idea was to see who could get their presses going faster than the other people. This was like a contest. Now, we're not to language yet. We're going to get there. But I want to set the scene for you. It's competitiveness among these guys, and they were all guys operating these machines. So I was assigned to this one guy to assist him, and boy, oh boy, he would get upset with me if I wasn't doing exactly what he told me exactly when. You know, the full color presses, you gotta put the solvent in there and the different color inks and so on, and he's got me running all over the place, and he's spitting the whole time. All right, he's chewing tobacco on the floor where these presses are in this factory, and then periodically he could usually hit the cans, but sometimes he would get ticked, or P-I-S-S-E-D with me, because I didn't do something quickly enough or right, and he would right on my shoe. You know, this was a wild scenario. Well, we had breaks. Okay, you'd take a break for lunch, and it was required that you had to take a break because when these presses were running full speed and all, man, you couldn't focus on anything else. You had to have all of your attention on the presses. So we'd take a break for lunch. And I'm new working here, and we would sit around on some kind of containers. I think they were like 25-gallon plastic containers of solvent or something that we'd take out in the parking lot and turn them over, and we'd sit around in a circle. Some of the guys would actually drink beer then. That's another whole story. I thought, man, they're going to lose their fingers in the presses, but we won't go there. So at any rate, we're chatting away, and pretty soon it would get into the point where people would start creating jokes about other people. They would put down other people, and it would go around the circle, and who could better put down somebody else? So one day, you wonder where I'm going with this, huh? One day, one of the younger guys that's in the circle, older than me, but younger, says, yeah, Schultze. He called me Schultze because there's that E on the end of my name, even though I pronounce it Schultze. He said, yeah, that's Schultze. He's so effing skinny that he's going to fall through his a-hole and hang himself. Now, he didn't say a-hole, he said the word, you know. You know what I'm talking about. He said this. The place went crazy. All these guys in the circle, they were howling away. This was such a great thing that he had come up with. Probably that week, maybe for 2 weeks, it was the best one-line swearing put down that anybody had come up with. And everybody looked up to him and expected him to continue and come up with these things in the future. Competitiveness. The old man is being competitive with his language. Now that sounds strange maybe for today. I don't know how most people think about this, but I grew up in an environment where that was the case. And so the old man is teaching himself to really be a great artist. And so his strings of profanity, his strings of obscenity, and the creative ways that he would put this together, his palette of language is out there. He sent it out over Lake Michigan. And it's hovering there. And the boats are coming along underneath on Lake Michigan. And at night especially, they hear this language coming down. They can barely hear it. It sounds wild. It's coming down. And it will forever be there, hanging above the water of Lake Michigan, until eventually that art of verbal excess is accepted by people at the Art Institute in Chicago. And then the old man will have his place there with a plaque on the wall and maybe some new digital technology that has a microphone in the sky above the lake, and it broadcasts in kind of whispers all the fabric, the mosaics of language from the old man. That is what's going on in the film, with all of the irony in that. And so Shepard makes out the old man as an artiste of this nasty language. Wow. But I'll never forget what that guy said about me around our little group there in the parking lot of the printing plant, and how much he was revered for that remark, that I was so skinny that I was going to fall through my you-know-what and hang myself. It's a wild image, isn't it? Thanks for watching, and if you'd like a copy of my book, I'll put a link down below. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel there too. And please, if you'd like a personal copy while I still have them, if there's a link down below, you can order a copy and I will sign it. Your friends and family will open the book and see it's signed just for them. In fact, tell me how to sign it. Thanks so much.